they've been on quite some time. They're feeling really comfortable, and with their personalities are meshing together well. And you've got Spartan leading the charge, obviously. He's a very vocal leader. He'll make you know that they need to push. He'll scream. He'll let you know, we got to go. 2 down, make that push. Go for that flag. Move that flag through courtyard, wherever you're moving it. And you'll always hear everyone on this team just little small talk. Obviously, once we get into the match, would love to hop into a listen-in with them to see if they can continue that going up against a top team like Tox, because some teams, they'll get rustled a little bit, they'll change how they play, and then they kind of shut down. So are we going to see Elevate not shut down?
It does surprise me that the players would suggest this is the best team they've been on, especially if you think back to Denver, previous event of the Halo Champion Series. I mean, we saw Spartan with Penguin, for example, and that was an amazing lineup back in the day. So I am surprised that they would say that this is one of their favorite lineups. But sometimes it is about chemistry. It's about enjoying playing with your team, enjoying playing alongside a team that works with you as well, not both outside the game, but inside, as we take a look at the series layout. As I said, CTF Truth is going to be game number 1, Slayer Refuge 2, Strongholds the Rig 3, and then if we need them, Oddball Eden and Slayer Coliseum. The hope for any fans, any Elevate fans out there, I know there are several of you in the audience, including Spartan's stepmom and dad. Oddball Eden is actually one of Tox's worst game types, so you will want to get to that game number 4.
Well, here we go. Game number 1 underway. Capture the flag on True, 3 caps to win, and you've got a camo at pink 1. You've got the tac mag at bottom middle. That tac mag gives you a silencer, so you're not going to be able to be seen on radar. And then you've got the plasma pistol up at top mid, and you're going to see a lot of players trying to get that top mid control.
On board with Frosty here. Frosty actually has the 3rd most kills in the tournament at the moment, as he starts with a double kill as well. It's actually him and Snakebite at 2nd and 3rd with most kills so far this tournament, only behind Shotzi of all players.
Oh no, Spartan's going to go down with camo there, and Tox are going to capitalize on this moment, and they're already moving the flag. Look, they've got the cover by Snakebite up at pink 2. Lethal, he's going to make it back to his base. He's got a teammate under the base as well, and a player over by Card. Somehow, Sabinator was able to slip by and get a flag pull, but it's not going to be enough as Tox put in flag cap number 1.
Yeah, Lethal has kind of taken the objective role for the team of Tox in terms of picking up the ball. He is the guy who's been going for the ball. He has also got the most assists currently in the tournament as well at this event, so it kind of says a lot about how he is approaching and how he is kind of just guiding himself to be around his teammates, just as that kind of supporting objective role. And you do need that on the team, and that is why Tox are performing so successfully, because you have a player just willing to do absolutely anything to win.
Sabinator leading the charge, has 2 teammates outside pink, but he's going to get perfect by Frosty. Incredible shots by him, and Lethal now looking to move a 2nd flag. 2 players from Elevate, spotting, trying to keep him back, but what teamwork from Tox coming in to just finish off those players.
Something very minor there, but something amazing was the way that Lethal just threw that flag out and used the barrier just to make sure he survived, but also got that flag a little bit further, allowed a teammate to push out behind him, and they were able to double team the one player who was trying to stop the flag. And they are going to keep trying to run this, but Lethal's doing it again. I was saying he's that one player, that do-or-die player who will do absolutely anything to win. He throws himself on the flag just to make sure it doesn't get reset, allowing his team and biding a little bit more time. And yes, okay, L-Town's going to jump on the return, which it might be returning, unless anyone gets there. No, there's the return. It doesn't matter in the end, but it's still decent play from Lethal.
Yeah, Elevate just trying to fight to get into the base of Tox to just get a flag moving. And you'll see just red X's all over Sabinator's screen as they're not able to stay alive there. He's going to opt to back down. Sees even more of his teammates went down, but that camo's up, and they've got to make a move for it. 2 players go down from Elevate, and that's going to be an easy pickup for Snakebite as they look to get another flag moving. You got Lethal inside the base level 2, but Spartan, he'll shut him down immediately. Snakebite taking it slow, but what a grenade, and that's a big kill for Spartan to take down Snakebite.
Always 2 ways to approach a camouflage as well. You can get aggressive, you can throw yourself on it and try and burn it, but Tox, they sat back, 3 players just watched it, allowed Elevate to dive onto it, and they were able to get 1, not 2, but 3 kills because of it. And now they're rewarded with all of this map control, and they are outslaying currently these boys of Elevate by around about 7 to 8 kills. So it's not detrimental for Elevate. They're certainly kicking themselves.
Big kill. Elevate now moving the flag. Sorry to cut you off. dropped in, but Falcated found that perfect opportunity, and he's got the flag all the way back towards his pink side. He's running it into the base, but their flag is out. It's out towards the car side, so they'll have to get that return, but it looks like they're getting a lot of pressure from Tox, from that car side. Snakebite will go down. Frosty is still alive, and Frosty will kill Falcated. Royal 2 takes Sabinator. Lethal comes in as well, and that's going to be a 4-man sweep. They're going to stop that flag.
Interesting from Falcated, he decided to go back to the flag and open himself up to the window as well. He could have hidden a little crevice, stayed alive, and hoped to just survive until his teammates were spawning. Instead, he kind of was able to be shot from the enemy base, and that's why he fell in the end, as Frosty's now going to be running this flag. He should be able to put it in. No, okay, the flag is being run. Elevate did really well to rotate around on the car side there to make sure they can pull this one. And we're going to have a back and forth battle. Hopefully, there can be a flag return, certainly if you're a Tox fan.
There you go, Elevate trying to stay alive. Frosty trying to just finish off the kill, but that player did not want to die. L-Town maybe making the impossible possible there, but they'll get Snakebite to come in and save his life as they're going to pick up a few more kills. 2 go down for Tox, and they get that flag into safety, and it looks like they are able to get it into the base, but both flags are out. We've got a flag stand off right now. A lot of time left on the board, but Elevate really have got to work together. You saw Falcated get caught off on his own there. 3 went down. This is a perfect moment for Tox to get camo and use that camo now to make a push.
Yeah, there was a temptation there for Tox because they got 3 down. They could have tried to push onto the flag, but they noticed camouflage was coming up. Instead, used that man advantage to ensure this camouflage, and Snakebite can now try and make a play here. Snakebite does have the 2nd highest damage output out of any player in this tournament as well, so expect to see him firing a lot of shots at players, hitting those shots most importantly. But now he has the camouflage, he is going to have a little bit more trigger patience, doesn't want that camo to disappear.
Here he
Instead,
goes.
Sneaky Beaver time.
He is sneaking around the base. Not going to put any shots on anyone yet. He wants to take it slow. He wants to get that easy kill, and there's the easy kill. Taking down L-Town. Trying to go for the return. He gets the return, and that'll do it. Frosty on the other side, putting in flag cap number 2, making it look way too easy.
Yeah, Tox, it's all about that camouflage timing and the fact they're able to pick it up, and that is why the camouflage can be so powerful on this map, because of plays like that. Really awesome stuff from Snakebite. Just be very patient, sussed out where the flag was, and gets a back smack and a return as a reward.
Saving it, sneaking under the base, trying to get in behind enemy lines, but his teammates keep going down, so there's not much he can do. He's able to pick up a kill, but it's not really a good time to run the flag, so he's just trying to buy time, stay alive, and no way. Oh, we switched screens. I thought Sabinator got an assassination there, but Snakebite is going to be able to clear out his base and continue to hold this 2-0 lead, but yeah, you're just looking at Tox, really just look at that teamwork. Drop down, finish off a kill. It seems like Elevate's really just getting caught off on their own a lot. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, Tox are really comfortable right now, and they're about a 12-kill lead in terms of the slaying power, and because they have this 2-0 cushion, it means they can kind of be patient with how they approach this game. As I say that, they got aggressive, they've pulled a flag, but now they're just hunting these Elevate players that are spawning. Thankfully, Falcate and L-Town have been able to pick up a couple of kills to stop this flag being pulled, but look, there is still the flag being trained across because Frosty just dove on it, and now Snakebite's going to help out. They're going to try and chain this one home to try and get a 3-0.
The enemy flag has been returned.
That flag now get returned as well, and you got camo going into the hands of Falcated. Let's see if they can make something happen here. You've got Elevate underneath the base. You got L-Town trying to push in as well. Well, let's take a look at this tweet coming in on the right side. Elevate might be the most underrated team here. They have something to prove, and Tox will need to bring their A game here. You know, I have to agree. I mean, Elevate, they're a top team still, and with that confidence, there is always a possibility. Elevate is still putting up a decent fight. They have just got to get that flag moving. What exactly can Elevate do right now? What do they need to really just hone in and focus on to get a flag back to their base?
I mean, they got the camouflage, that was rule number 1, and they've got a flag capped because of it as well. Just by having the camouflage, it meant Tox had to play a little bit more defensive. They were worried about seeing that camouflage coming around the corner, and now they've got a flag capture there as well. Some big kills coming out from Falcated and Spartan. It's winning these individual fights, that's what's also important, Mike. We've seen Snakebite just absolutely destroying members of Elevate, but if they can take him down, then maybe they have a chance to try and push in on flag, get that man advantage, and then they might be able to pull one.
As you said that, Snakebite 5-shotted Sabinator from across the map through a tiny little angle. And Spartan now trying to stay alive underneath the base, just trying to figure out where these players from Tox are. He's going to get one player down. Wow, what a move. Frosty just flying right back down to finish off Spartan. Frosty now finding two players pushing out pink side. Can he get them a little bit weak? Yes, he does. And you've got Snakebite ready to clean up the kills with a big double kill from Snakebite.
Really important to gain control of this pink side as well, because camo is going to be up in 20 seconds, and we've seen how impactful that camo has been. And this is a great time to run a flag as well, because Elevate will be thinking about trying to set up for this camouflage, so their minds might not be focused about repositioning for a flag. They are going to jump straight on the return. Can it be stopped? Can't quite see. Yes, it does get returned. This is really big. Camo is going to be popping now. If Elevate can pick this one up, this would actually be a perfect chance for them to try and get a flag, but it looks like Tox are going to have eyes on it.
Looks like both teams have eyes. He's not able to get the burn, so that camo's still up. You got Lethal now trying to make a move, but look at this. Spartan's going to go in for the quick move, and he gets the stick on Lethal right to the face. There you go. Get out of here. And Spartan now possibly going to be able to use this camo to get into the base, get behind enemy lines, and maybe get that second flag going to tie this game up.
Really big triple kill coming out of Falcated off screen there as well, just to be able to encourage this push. Look how aggressive Elevate are being. They need to watch for where Tox are going to be spawning, but we've got a wild Spartan with the camouflage, just trying to dip and dive behind the Tox team, but they do suss him out, they sniff him out, and they are able to take him down. Massive kill from Tox to make sure that Spartan doesn't stay behind.
A bit unfortunate. Looked like Spartan was going for that assassination, but he had to go for the two melees there, so that really kind of hurt him there. Now Falcated is going to go down in ring 2. And we got L-Town picking up a double kill, playing some good defense here. He's got his teammate Sabinator able to pick up a kill. That's 3 down for just a moment, with Tox still holding on to the lead. A little more than 2 minutes remaining. Elevate do have to make something happen here quick, because you don't want to push it down to the wire. Elevate looked like they have some control. They're at top mid. They took down Frosty. Can they pick up 1 or 2 more kills and get a flag going? Look at this. That's going to be Royal 2 and Lethal go down. All 4 members of Elevate making a move on this flag. They're taking that flag out to pink side. They've got everyone battling here down to the last bullet, and neither player able to finish.
Loads of work done by Snakebite there to delay the players that were in the base. And then here is Frosty to try and save the day. Sabinator is going to fall, providing Frosty hits the shots, which he does. Really good work from Tox to just manage to turn that on its head, get into the opposition base, and now they can run a flag of their own, but Snakebite does fall. Only 1 minute 30 left. Camouflage coming up in 10 seconds as well, so this could be important for Elevate if they can find the camouflage and tie this one.
Can he do it? Frosty's going to go down. Big kill from L-Town, able to keep this flag alive. Those plasma grenades definitely super helpful to keep that flag from being returned very easily, but that camo is up as well. Snakebite at pink 1. They're going to go for a flag move all the way back into the base, and Snakebite's going to get camo, but we're all tied up. Elevate tied the game. They're able to slip by and get that flag all the way back, but will it cost them? Will they be able to get over to Tox's base and get a flag pull, while on the other side, Tox are quickly running the flag in towards pink?
Yeah, I was going to say, this was such the danger of Elevate from getting aggressive and really going for that flag pull. They had to, because the time that was left, but they've managed to throw this flag out, so at least they are still alive. But by giving up the camouflage, they gave that opportunity from Tox to get this flag run. PJ doesn't get the return, unfortunately. Snakebite does dive in, but all 4 players of Elevate now are going to try and train this across.
Look at that. They're able to get it into safety and get it into bottom car, where they have lots of cover. That's going to be 2 down for Tox right now. Sabinator on the hunt, trying to get underneath the base. He'll get taken down, though, so not going to be able to make anything happen. We've got a flag standoff, and folks, if you're just tuning in, this is still game number 1. Tox versus Elevate, winners bracket round 1. We're about to go to overtime here if this hits 0.
Well, someone tweeted and said Tox are going to have to bring their A game. Well, they're going to have to find that second win now. After going 2-0 up, Elevate have tied this up, and we're going to be jumping right into some overtime. 3 more minutes to try and find this flag capture. We do have a flag standoff, and I really want to see these flag carriers try and impact the game, like Frosty is doing. He's looking for players off spawn. He's trying to hit shots with that pistol, and I want to see the team of Elevate do exactly the same on the other side. Use that 4th man. Don't just hide away.
Frosty's getting some shots at pink 2. He's able to kick off the kill, but is it going to cost him his life? Just barely escapes there back into his base. He's going to continue to hold on to the flag. Both teams 4v4. No one's down yet. And you've got Royal 2 with the perfect kill. Wow. My gosh. Insane shots from Royal 2. L-Town staying alive towards car side. But right now, you've got Elevate really doing a good job at getting a trade. When they have a player go down, they're at least able to take down a player of Tox to keep that bar even, to not let Tox get too much control.
Really impressed with the amount of assists right now as Camouflage is being picked up by Tox again. And unfortunately, wait, is that the return? Yes, it is. And somehow out of nowhere, Elevate take the game 3-2. It was looking really good for Tox as they were 2-0 up, but Elevate, they somehow clawed it back just so close, and they were able to take that one. What a massive, massive return right at the end of the game. It seemed like we saw too much focus from Tox onto that final Camouflage, which just allowed Elevate to sneak round and get the flag return.
Well, whoever tweeted that at the HCS before, you couldn't be more right. Tox really need to bring their A game here. Taking a look at the stats, Sabinator, 26 kills. Falcated 28 kills, and not just that, look at that assist column.
Exactly what I was going to talk
20,
about.
21, 25. So much teamwork coming out from this Elevate squad. They are feeling good, and you saw the faces on Tox. They're not happy. They are definitely not happy after that one. They were up 2-0.
They were, and yeah, they're not going to be happy, but it's not the first time we've seen Tox take a loss, and if anyone knows how to take a loss and come back from it, it will be this Tox lineup. We've got to remember, these are two-time world champions. Like, they have been there, they've been around the block.
They're known to lose their first game quite often sometimes.
Exactly, they're just warming up, but for Elevate, this is a perfect momentum boost, and Falcated, man, he went +12, and there was a few impactful moments where he was finding those multi-kills, he was getting doubles, he was getting triples, that was able to allow his team to get aggressive and pull those flags.
Tox even outslayed Elevate, and they were still able to pull home the win. Well, we're going into game number 2. Refuge, Slayer. Rockets are bottom mid. 2 snipers on the map. This is where you see some fancy plays. This is where you see some crazy action. We're gonna see some flashiness, potentially maybe from a Frosty, maybe from a Spartan, but we're gonna check in with Falcated off the rip as he makes his way towards ring 2. Getting some nades at the jump up. Get the overhead look to see who's gonna be able to acquire these rockets at the beginning. Falcated making a ballsy push over towards the other side. He's gonna create some confusion and allow Sabinator to get the rockets. A long-range rocket from Sabinator. Make that 2, taking down Lethal and Frosty. Sabinator starting off the game exactly how you want to, and then here's a Christmas present. Take a sniper to add on.
It's not Christmas yet, Mike. I call it like
early
something
Christmas.
more relevant, like a summer present.
Here's a birthday gift.
A birthday present
is
better.
You don't know if it's his birthday.
It's true. I don't know if it's his birthday. Maybe I'll find out. But this is going to be the real test for Elevate. As I was saying, they struggled with this game type leading up in online scrims, but that was only online scrims recorded against other pro teams. Of course, they would have been playing it in matchmaking, etc., against teams that weren't pro teams. So maybe they could pull this one out of the bag. We have already seen one victory for them at this tournament thus far, and they looked pretty good. But they weren't going up against a team that have the sniper rifle capability that Tox do. This man, Frosty, you've got to be scared when there's a sniper rifle in his hands.
And not just Frosty, Royal 2 as well. Both just waiting for you to peek out. Frosty, he's going to spot Spartan, and Royal 2 locking down the other side of the map. Spots a player at the rock jump up. He's going to try and sneak away. He's going to be able to get out of that sight line, but you've got Snakebite and Lethal just moving around that ring 2, ring 3, ring 1 area, not letting anybody from Elevate get any type of control there. Royal 2, he's watching out that court side. He's able to look over towards the other flag, the rock jump, and you've got Frosty on the other side. He's able to look into Snipe Tower. He's able to look across the map, and there, another connection against Spartan. Make that 2. Snakebite picks up Sabinator, finishing off Falcated, and you're going to keep seeing Tox now move around the map. Now they've switched bases.
It was such a shame for Elevate because they planned that out. I was watching all of their POVs. All 4 of them waited. They managed to get into ring 1, but unfortunately they were just greeted by sniper rifle bullets of Tox, and Tox have got such control now, taking a 9-kill lead. Elevate, they've got to go for plan B. They've got to try something differently. Maybe they want to just wait and hesitate a little bit more, try and take these sniper rifles off of Tox. Maybe wait for sniper rifles to respawn, because at the moment, this is a bit of a massacre.
Snakebite trying to stay alive here. Ring 2, he's getting a lot of help here to get his shields back. Be able to finish off. Frosty picks up the double kill action. Sabinator in the rocks. Snakebite, beautiful shots again. We just saw him do something so similar on CTF Truth against Sabinator. And again, his shots are so smooth. It's flawless.
You were saying that Tox didn't look bothered by the fact they lost game number 1. Well, I think they kind of look angry now. You don't want to kind of shake the beast. You don't want to bring them out of their nest, because when Tox get angry, Tox looks scary. And Royal 2, look at that, just ignoring that player. He would have called him out as well. Instead, he was trying to look for someone spawning over on the other side instead. I love trigger patience. I love everyone having this discipline. Now we've got the new radar.
And we've got Spartan with the sniper. Let's see if he's going to be able to do something with this and turn things around for his squad. Nades come flying in from the flag. Player, that's going to be lethal. Nice finish for Spartan. There's another player in the rocks as well, so he's sitting back, taking it slow. Doesn't want to be the guy leading the charge. You always want to be sitting back, but you're sitting back. You've got Snakebite pushing in. He's going to get control of Ring 3 and that sniper. You're going to have to do something to stop this man. Falcade is trying to do something, but he's got to get some help. He has nobody in Ring 2 with him. You're seeing still Elevate kind of getting caught off on their own quite a bit, and Tox just constantly with that teamwork. Elevate saw Elevate have so much teamwork in CTF Truth. They need to do that here.
Elevate did do the right thing though. They waited for that sniper rifle to come back up, but Spartan unfortunately hasn't been able to make the impact just because Tox are positioning themselves so well to make sure that no matter which angle Elevate are trying to push towards this ring, there is always a sniper rifle looking at them. And it doesn't matter who has the sniper rifle either. We've seen Snakebite hitting shots, we've seen Frosty hitting shots, and Frosty, what are you doing? Oh, it's always something. There's always somebody disrespect from Frosty. I love it.
Snakebite spots a player in the rocks. Goodbye, Spartan again. I believe Spartan's been sniped maybe 4 times. This Royal 2 with a double kill with the rockets. Power weapon kills coming in left and right non-stop. They've got 13 power weapon kills to Elevate's 3 power weapon kills right now. So they are completely dominating the control of Sniper and Rocks.
And there is a reason why this was such a bad game type for Elevate coming into this tournament. They don't really have the same kind of sniper rifle ability that this Tox lineup does. And that's fine. You can have your bad game types, right? You can have your game types you're not going to win on. At least they're still 1-0 up. But unfortunately, they are going to be tied up. Because Tox, I cannot see them throwing this away at this point. Their sniper rifle control has been absolutely insane. They've also been finding those rockets, as you said, timing those well, controlling the ring. Elevate haven't been able to push in at all. Even when they do get to the ring, they're just being hit by a sniper shot every time.
This is just a slaughter. 42-14. Make that 44-14. 3 kills up. I mean, what do you do? When you see that scoreboard, if you're playing in this game and you see that scoreboard, you're just, you know. Probably around 35-14, you just know this is not going to end pretty.
I'm thinking about game number 3. This is game over. There is no way Elevate come back. It's just never happened in the history of Halo have we ever seen a comeback this large, especially when it comes to Sanctuary anyway. 48-15. Elevate are trying their best just to prolong this game, maybe just to keep their heads and try to just have a little chat. Sometimes you can just elongate a game so you can talk about the next game whilst you're in the current game. You know what I mean? Just take the time now, even though you've lost, and say, all right, let's clear our heads. Let's focus on game number 3.
Yeah, right you are. Well, that's going to do it. Tox tie up the series 1-1. Can Elevate turn things around after that? That's a devastating loss.
It's a devastating loss, but it's kind of expected for them. When it is a map that is so bad for you and you just know it's one of your bad game types, you're in the mindset of, we don't care if we lose this. This is when they looked to the series layout, they probably thought, all right, we're losing game 2, and maybe that's why they came out so strong in game number 1, because they knew how important it was that they didn't lose that, because otherwise they would have been 2-0 down at this point. Instead, it's all still to play for. They're still going to have a chance at that game number 3 and that game number 4. And what was I saying? I was saying if you're an Elevate fan, you want to see game number 4, because the oddball game types, they haven't been great for Tox.
Yeah, and we know Spartan and crew, they have played a little bit. Obviously, they haven't got enough practice in that they would have liked, but I think, yeah, oddball, you throw those 2 teams in, it's kind of hard to say who exactly is going to win that game type. But we do have a lot of Elevate fans out there, and we got a lot of Tox fans as well. Fans out in the crowd, you rooting for Tox out there?
I think that
we got some Elevate fans out there? Good amount of fans.
There's some decent ones, decent fans. I'm pretty happy. Stronghold's rig, though, is going to be game number 3. This is one of Tox's better game types, a 70% win rate coming into this tournament. On the other side, for Elevate, only a 28% win rate. But, again, we have seen them take a win on land this tournament on Stronghold's rig. So, I don't know if the online statistics matter as much for Elevate because they seem to look like a different team when it comes to lap.
Well, we are going to be going into game number 3 here in just a moment. And what game is that going to be on? That is, we are on Strongholds on the Rig. We're going to kick things off with Sabinator. Frosty with the railgun picks up a kill on L-Town. Taking it slow. Elevate does have the lead. Nice little sneaky ledge here from Sabinator. Frosty picking up kills left and right here. Frosty with another kill, picking up a double. Sabinator's trying to stay alive. Frosty's gonna shoot the ground next to you. He's gonna make you get out of your rabbit hole. He's gonna make you run.
Now, we didn't quite see the starting strategy from Elevate, but I was able to see it on my little POVs here. They sacrificed camouflage and instead just went for the stronghold control, just pushed it straight over, managed to make sure they got basement and nest. And now because of that, they've got this early control. They've had to force back Tox, but Tox have done really well here to gain just an incy-bincy bit of control after getting the camouflage. And now in 1 minute, we're going to see the next camo. I'm expecting the teams to fight very heavily for the camouflage because we know how impactful it can be on Stronghold's Rig here, Mike.
Right, you are. Frosty will get taken down. Tox still in control. Elevate trying to get this capture here on Nest. And yes, they are able to get this and pick up a few slays as well. That's going to be actually 3 down. Sorry for Elevate as Tox are in control. Frosty now moving over with Lethal. Both of them trying to get into that Nest. Nades are just coming flying in everywhere though. Trying to keep them out, but it looks like they'll be able to get this capture. Lethal just trying to finish it off, and yep, he's going to be able to get that.
And notice how all 3 of those players as well were pushing over to Nest, and they were kind of bouncing in and out of the stronghold to make sure they weren't hit too heavily by the grenades. They knew that one player was going to survive to be able to take it because it's so important holding this Nest, and that's why we are seeing both teams kind of prioritize this Nest before they push one of the other strongholds. But as Tox have found Nest was being taken, they suddenly decided, all right, you can have it. We're going to go for BR base, and we're going to go for basement.
Frosty picking up a kill, picks up the double. Railgun in hand again, constantly with the power weapon control. Elevate have got to put some more focus towards that power weapon control. L-Town, he'll get finished off. Frosty loses that railgun. Snakebite with the camo. To get this capture potentially. A railgun goes whizzing by his head, and now Snakebite back into the Nest. He's got some help. Let's take a look at now Tox moving around towards the Elevate corner, back by BR base. But let's jump in with one of the guys from Elevate. Let's see, check in with them. I would love to hear their comms, so let's jump into an Astro listen in with the crew.
On me, old snipe. One shot, old snipe.
Mike.
Tower 2, one shot, cuts. Watch out, come to you.
Cuts,
barrels. Watch out, barrels. He's almost out of scatter.
Step, you guys stop. I'm going outside,
Cuts in bottom row, bottom row. Weak.
Guys, I'm nest, I don't know I'm here.
Go bottom, 2 go up here, 2 go up here.
Okay, I'm waiting nest,
Snake
dude.
one.
White corner.
Hold one, literally. I got one.
Connector.
Watch out. Oh, there's 2. There's 2 on me, BR. Yeah, get basement and nest.
I'm trying to get nest. I'm top nest.
Jumping up on Sal, he needs help. Guys,
Got beat.
barrels,
Stop
Frosty
nest.
pushing Mike, barrels. Alright, pushing Mike.
Scatter or snipe ball, dropping on you.
Frosty's weak basement. Frosty's one shot basement, there's 2 1 shots. I got killed.
Nice. We got slays.
In nest.
Basement door, one shot. One shot sewers.
We don't have an angle on sewers.
I mean,
White hold now.
I kill scatter.
White corner, Tyler going E2. Yeah, I hear you. He's one shot.
Underpass weak.
Two dead. Underpass. Two dead. I'm in basement.
Me and Ty game basement. They have to help you, bro.
Okay, one of you leave and help me nest.
Nah. I'm leaving.
49 camo. Listen, 49 camo. Railgun soon.
E2. Got E2.
2 on rail spawn.
E2.
Row 2's weak. Weak tower 1. Lethal. Yep. Row 2's weak. E2.
49 camos.
Basement on me. Basement. I died by basement. He has a shot. It's Snakebite.
I don't see E2.
49. Yep.
And the comms are coming in hot here for Elevate. A lot of communication. You heard them talking about Camo, trying to get ready for it. Here's Camo. Let's see if Elevate is going to be able to get this. No, Royal 2. He's going to swoop in, and he's going to get out of dodge. And now Tox with the control.
Elevate did really well to get back into that game, though. Tox had total control. Elevate looked like they were down and out. It could have got very, very ugly. But their communication, even though it was quite fast-paced, their communication was actually really nice. They were only talking about things that needed to be talked about. I'm pushing basement. I'm controlling here. You need to push and help me. Someone needs to leave. All the key points. They're not just screaming, one shot, 2 shot, 3 shot kind of thing. That is when it gets a little bit ugly with communication. So it's nice to see some excited yet calm communication from a team.
Right you are. Well, again, Frosty with yet another railgun, and not just that, they're holding a trip cap. 71 to 37. It looks like Tox, they are just completely pulling away, picking up kills. Body disrespect from Royal 2 saying, no, you don't, Spartan. You are not going to take this series. And Tox look to be fired up and playing a lot different there than we saw in game number 1. Royal 2 will get taken down, but still in control of all 3 strongholds, playing great defense. They might lose basement here, but they're still putting points on the board.
This is the reason why Tox are so good at this game type. Every single time they have total control, every single time it seems like Elevate are going to take BR base, there's always a player to contest. There's always a player to make it difficult to be able to get it, and he gets the reset as well. Elevate are saying, how did we not get that? That's because one player flew out and allowed the reset to happen. And yes, okay, they do get it in the end, but that's just 3, 4, 5 extra points for Tox that edges them closer to taking this game.
Here we've got Snakebite and Lethal trying to get the capture here. A scatter shot's going to come flying in. Lethal picks up the kill. Can he get the double? Gets the double melee. Massive play there from Lethal. Gets the scatter shot on top of that, and looks like he's going to be able to get this capture here. But in the meantime, they're going to be losing Nest as well. So a little switcheroo and Elevate, they're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, Elevate doing well to rotate and take that Nest. You saw Lethal was trying to get eyes on it, see if he can notice where they are hiding, but unfortunately he couldn't throw grenades because it was important. He actually took the basement. And now Tox needs to make a decision. Do we take Nest or do we go for BR base? You'd imagine they would go for Nest first, but when the camouflage has gone down, that is going to be helpful because the railgun now can run riot. And you'd imagine they should be able to take Nest here unless grenades are too much for them, which they are. Actually, Elevate doing really well to stop Nest being taken, and they're still in this one, Mike.
Yep, they're hanging on. They are hanging on. Falcated trying to finish off the player weak back in the bunker, but he's going to have his teammate Spartan's right there with him, so they're going to be able to keep some control here at BR base. Royal 2 is still alive in that bunker somehow.
Yeah, Tox, they're kind of stuck here as Elevate. They have total control. They're doing really well to keep Tox at bay, and Tox are going to just have to try and push out. They do get 4 dead. They are going to get their BR base, and now you imagine they're going to push to Nest as well. Yes, they are. You can see Nest is being taken. We need to see some big grenades coming out of both teams to try and take this one. It's an absolute nade fest, but Nest is taken. Tox do start scoring.
They're able to take 2 down, but what a flank from the other side by Frosty. A perfect flank to pick up a kill, and now they have the control. This is 98 to 74. Tox looking like they're going to close this out. Elevate have really no time, and that's going to do it. Tox finishing out game number 3, going up 2-1 in the series. But Elevate, it looked like they had that opportunity. It looked like they were going to bring that back, and they're still hanging on. They're trying to fight.
Considering that is one of Tox's strongest game types, in my personal opinion, I'm sure they would disagree. They know what their best game types are. Elevate did put up a really good fight, and that brings me confidence going into this game number 4, and I'm sure it'll be the same for them. They know that they have a real shot at this oddball game, and if they can take it to a game 5, if they can carry that momentum through, anything can happen. As we take a look at the statistics, it was Falcated again, finding all those kills. He's been absolutely phenomenal all this series, and just kind of even across the board for the Tox boys. I guess Frosty was the main man with his kills. But in terms of assists, we saw Lethal up there again. That's why he's been performing so well this tournament with the amount of assists he's had. And the damage dealt, Frosty and Snakebite both up there. You gotta remember, both of those players are up there with the highest damage dealt this tournament, Mike.
Yeah, we saw Frosty just time and time and time again. Every single railgun, every single one. Felt like every time we were on his POV, he just had the railgun in hand. But Tox now only need 1 more win here to move on to round 2 in the winner's bracket. That will send Elevate to the loser's bracket, and they're going to have a tough time. That's a long road coming through that loser's bracket when you lose in round number 1.
It is, but it's not over just yet. Oddball Eden is going to be game number 4. Tox, they've played this game 28 times leading up to this tournament against other pro teams. They've won 11 times, lost 17. That doesn't sound like Tox statistics to me. So this is a real chance for Elevate to get back into this series. As we have seen them in this tournament, they have taken this game type, and they looked really strong on it. Their rotations were good, their communication was great when we listened to them as well, and now we're going to see if they can grab these overshields, make sure that Tox don't get them as we see a team nade. It doesn't matter, he gets the overshield anyway, but that could have been absolutely detrimental.
Falcated trying to finish off the kill here on Frosty. He's able to do so. Tox now moving the ball towards blue. Lethal gets shots in him, but Falcated gets hit, and that OS is completely gone. What a play there, using the plasma pistol exactly how it should be used.
Lethal does have some of the most carried ball time in this tournament as well, funnily enough. I think I said it in game 1. He has kind of put himself in that objective role in this team. I mean, we've seen it throughout the past couple of years. We know he has that ability. We know he has the slaying ability and the assist ability, but now being objectively good as well. This man has a little bit of everything. He's one of the best players we've ever seen in Halo, so I'm not surprised. But what a start this is from Tox. They just want to prove me wrong. They want to say, you said we were bad at this game time. Well, screw you, Gaskin.
Falcated with the double kill, charging full speed ahead with the sniper out just at first. He'll switch over to the pistol, and that oddball is going to be back here. And yep, we're going to see Elevate now start to put some points on the board. We'll see. I'm interested to see what Elevate does here. Falcated with the headshot. Hits the plasma as well. He sticks Royal 2. That's a double kill. That's going to be 3 down for Tox. But I'm interested to see, does Elevate, are they the team that kind of sits back, or are they going to be a team that rotates the ball around? And now they're getting a lot of pressure put in right now from the Turbine as Tox comes flying in, and L-Town trying to rotate. He's going to pass that ball off to Sabinator as they're just playing Ring Around the Rosie right now.
Yeah, it seems like both teams were trying to get that set up in blue, but you're right. Sometimes you do have to rotate. Ball is very situational. You need to recognize when a team is pushing you and when you are comfortable. So if you do see a couple of teammates fall, you need to move that ball away from them. Even if it's not to stay alive yourself, but just to stop them getting those few extra seconds. We do have a tweet here from Obtaining Chaos as well. He says, if Spartan becomes a true Spartan like Master Chief, Elevate will win against Tox. Well, maybe we need to get a Spartan costume for Spartan. I'm sure he would wear one as well, as Elevate are clawing their way back into this. L-Town has found himself the second overshield. That is 2 overshields for Elevate currently in this game. So they have the timings on board. Now they need to use this overshield to their advantage, try and get to this oddball and stop Tox from ticking up on the clock.
L-Town trying to stay alive here. We're going to see him make a push now. Player is going to be one shot there up in the treehouse. That's going to be Lethal getting finished off. 2 players here from Elevate. Ball is down at bottom mid. We're going to see if Elevate can get some type of control, but we're going to see things slow down here as the sniper rifle is coming up here in 5 seconds.
Now, something you might see in like matchmaking, for example, is just someone dive on the ball now to try and pick it up, try and get it away, try and sneak away with it. But instead, we've seen both teams just kind of fight for a little bit of control, wait until 1 or 2 players are down before they then made the move. Frosty noticed a couple of players were dead. He grabs the ball, and he's rewarded with some time now. Meanwhile, Sabinator is trying to do what he can with his sniper rifle in a very unorthodox position, but if he can find an angle, if he can hit a few shots, and I don't think he's going to mind, doesn't find the no-scope, needs to survive, because his teammates are finding kills elsewhere.
Yeah, he's trying to get a little fancy there with the sniper. Maybe could have opted to the pistol, but now Royal 2, he's going to have the sniper, and this is the player on the other squad where you don't want them to get this weapon. He is a lethal weapon once he's got this in his hands. You don't want to be peeking around any corners. Great at predicting, great at knowing exactly where you're coming from. He's going to be lined up, ready to go, but he's going to miss 3 shots in a row, and there's going to be, I believe, 1 shot left in that sniper, but all the while, you've got Lethal rotating around the map and still putting in ball time.
Yeah, look how aware Lethal is of where Elevate players are. He's making sure he's just staying as far away as possible, but also keeping himself within kind of reaching distance of teammates, just in case there is kind of a panic of a player being able to flank around. He does need to be careful from anyone that's spawning over by Turbine. He does drop the ball and try and get some shots in here, as now the overshield, you can see they're all just kind of hovering around just in case it's going to be up. But I'm really impressed with these rotations from Tox.
Lethal hanging back all the way now to red base. He's got cover from his teammates, watching every single angle. He's just got a complete wall in front of him, just not letting any players get to him. But 2 will go down, Royal 2 and Snakebite. So you're going to see Lethal try and play the ball, but no player there to really get that ball. And actually, as I say that, Elevate is able to get some control. Frosty now switching over to the battle rifle, picks up the killing spree, and he'll be taken down.
This needs to be the moment for Elevate. They need to, I was going to say, they need a big chunk of time to get back into this, but we see the panic from L-Town as he throws it off. Spartan's going to try and clear up the mess that was left behind, and it is going to be play ball, and that's going to be advantage Tox because they did have a little bit of map control, and there you have it. They're going to be rewarded with the ball. Maybe that was the wrong decision throwing that ball off there, but sometimes you do just have to make sure that the players pushing you can't grab it instantly.
Royal 2 making a move here with the Hydra. See if he's going to be able to get any connection here. Yep, he takes down L-Town. He's going to get a couple connections with that Hydra, but not going to be able to do anything. He gets hit by that wall. Well, we heard from Elevate before. Let's jump in to an Astro listen-in with Tox and hear what their comms are like.
I got shot. There's a guy blue steps on you, bro. He's still pit. He's still pit. He's half health, bro. Blue jet. Blue jet.
I'm on pit. Can it kill me? Pit weak.
Pit's half, Matt. Pit's half.
Running ball to you.
Yep. Where are you getting shot from?
I think it was a big guy.
He's turbine. There's one in tower. Under cat. One hit blue alley. L-Town.
I gotta get him.
Spartan's one hit front blue.
I'm probably gonna die. Hit me with a nade. Let's milk as much time as possible. If you're already
Yeah, we never got
run it out. Play it if you have.
Front blue one hit. Blue steps one hit. Blue steps one hit. And blue sneaky.
They're all over.
Two outside. Three outside. Three outside.
I couldn't. I didn't know they were blue sneaky moment.
Yeah.
Help me, Obi, man. There's two. I can't. They're all here.
Just snipers down outside.
Three outside.
Obi's here. Sniper. Try to get the snipe. Okay.
On brick.
Three outside right. Three right fan. Turbine to the west. Kill blue sneaky. Kill blue sneaky. Kill blue sneaky.
Blue sneaky, Obi.
I got him.
No one one-shot at me outside red.
Everyone push outside.
I'm ready to right now.
Two. I got one. Other one has to be.
I'm here. Got a sniper. Absolutely.
Matt, they're gonna spawn blue. You just run it straight to red, Matt. They're gonna spawn blue plat on Matt.
I had to drop it.
Blue plat.
I can get it maybe.
Weak blue.
I got
One hit
ball,
blue
I got
plat.
ball.
One hit blue plat. And this guy blue security. Clear life, Matt.
I have sniper.
I got ball in red. Yeah, red security, TJ.
Weak blue door. Weak blue door.
Well, we had a tweet earlier that said Tox have to bring their A game. Well, I think they're bringing their A game, if not their S game, as they look incredible in this game. Some questionable play balls from me from Elevate's side as they've allowed Tox just to have constant control of the middle of the map. 4 more seconds needed for Tox to take this one. And I'm sure Tox fans are going to be happy all around the world as they do take it 3-1, despite going 1-0 down in this series. They move through to winners bracket round 2, and we are going to see Elevate drop into the loser bracket.
And if you're Elevate, you can't be too upset. I mean, Tox, obviously they're 2 times world champions. These guys always put in the time. They always put in the practice. I'd be pretty happy that you took game number 1, and they put up a decent fight in game number 3 as well. I'd say game number 2, definitely want to go back, rewatch that, figure out what was done wrong. But, you know, you got to give it to this Elevate crew. They're still a newly formed team, and they haven't put in a lot of practice. So being able to stand up next to Tox and take a game, got to be proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, you say be proud, but I think they will still be disappointed. I think there was a chance to take down a Tox that maybe didn't look as impressive as we would have expected, but they did bring their A game when they needed to. They looked a little bit weak in game 1, a little bit rocky, but they suddenly turned it and they flipped it on their head. But the road isn't over for Elevate. They still have the elimination bracket. They could still come back through, and maybe, who knows, they could face Tox again later on in that elimination bracket, or maybe even in a grand final, depending on how things go. I'm excited to see how this Elevate squad develops. I want to see them kind of stick together even after this event and through this HCS season, because I think there is a lot of promise there. These guys, they look like they're enjoying playing together, and I think that is the key with any team.
Right, you are. Well, the Tox crew, you know, they've been trying to gun for that number 1 spot now, again, for quite some time. Splice have taken it over. Well, we're going to send this down to Lottie and the analyst desk. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Clutch, you said it. 3-1.
You're right, I did say it, and like I've said it all weekend, I've been predicting series from the start.
I love how you're looking at Elamite there. You're gunning for him.
Kyle? Well, I mean, I predicted the 3-0, but, you know, based on that game, I think the 50-15 kind of makes up for the first game loss. Okay. And, you know, what's worse, a 3-0 with close games or 3-1 when you got some games like that in there?
I'll take the 3-0 where I don't get 50-14.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, obviously, the curse is now over. It's been lifted, thank goodness for that, because I'm tired of seeing 3-0 games. I want some action. I want some excitement in some of the series we're seeing. Let's take a look at map 1, though. It was capture the flag on Truth. Now Elevate tied it up to go into extra time, and there was also a flag standoff, Walshy.
Yeah, there's a flag standoff, and I honestly felt a couple different periods of time. I felt like Royal 2 was almost a little too passive. I remember when he was bringing back that, I want to say it was the 3rd and final flag cap. He just sat over in his pink window and didn't try to challenge the person over on Car's side. And they were actually able to rally that flag all the way back. And if you remember, they ended up dropping this game. And I was a bit surprised by that. So Tox, they started off strong, as we talked about before on this, though, and fell short in the end.
Yeah, even since I was the coach of CLG when this roster was CLG, CTF Truth wasn't one of Tox's strong game types, and yeah, they've gotten a lot better at it in the more present times, but you can see it's still kind of biting at their ankles right now. They can't afford to lose a game type against Splice. They can't have bad game types when it comes to playing Reciprocity and playing Renegades and all the other top teams. So they're going to have to square away whatever went wrong after they got up 2-0 after that game type.
And I think I brought that up as well, that the game types were a little scary as far as Tox goes, because especially that CTF Truth game, well, what I did not expect was for Tox to be up 2-0 in that game and then lose 3-2. That is what I did not expect.
Well, gentlemen, should we take a look at map 2? Now, it was Slayer on Refuge. Power weapons are so important on this map. At one point, I think it was 13-3 power weapon kills here, Clutch.
Right. This problem here is if you poke the bear, you're going to get bit. And that's exactly what happened to Elevate. They woke the bear up, and Tox, they were just having a field day with the power weapons. I think Royal 2 ended up dropping a 13-1. I don't even know how that happens. He probably didn't lead the snipe much of the game. You see Frosty from all sorts of different angles getting headshots with the snipe. I mean, it's really just another, it's Frosty's world. We're all just living in it kind of a games.
We haven't seen anything like that really against two top tier teams. Like, of course you can do it to somebody that's like lower skilled level, but since the FB days on Beaver Creek, like we just haven't seen any team be able to set up and be able to dominate, keep the elevation, you know, going top rockets, Beaver Creek now here, sitting ring 3, locking down all the power weapons, and just preventing deaths. Like, the fact that they only died 17 times in that game is absolutely absurd, because we've talked about Splice that plays to the team they're competing against, just enough to win. And Tox, no, they bring the A game and they shut them down.
Elamite, map number 3, Strongholds on the Rig. What did you make of Tox's performance?
This is a game type that they lost a lot earlier on in their career, but I think they've taken what was once their weaker game type and really improved upon it. Tox, so good against every other team with the exception of those couple slightly weaker game types, but part of it is the team that they match up against and their playstyle. Splice, for example, is literally probably the most aggressive team that we have here in this tournament, and sometimes Tox can get overwhelmed by that, but when Tox is the ones being the slayers, when Royal 2 is moving around the map, when Frosty's getting to do whatever he wants, that's when they're able to destroy teams. That reset, that's a heartbreaking reset. You had 3 players in BR base. One of them runs away just at the last wrong point in time. Tries to run back into the hill to get it, but the reset already came in, and that's all she wrote.
I mean, it was very interesting because map number 4, Oddball on Eden. Now, the question was, are we going to see a game 5? Because we all know Tox, it's not their strongest map right now. Clutch, I know that you know them in and out. Looking at that, you must be happy with their performance.
Yeah, I think they're very happy with that performance. We saw this Elevate roster play a really good Eden ball earlier in this tournament, and I was going to wonder how this game was going to play out. And Tox, they played it pretty much exactly how they wanted to. They were able to rotate the ball very well. They were able to pick up the majority of power weapons and get kills with them and basically do what they want. This game was a blowout. This is big for Tox. Tox winning this game type, the way they did it in this dominant fashion, that's going to tumble for the rest of the tournament. They're going to be very confident when they see that game type come on later in the bracket.
Well, obviously, they've taken their time to adjust to this new game type. I think Dan actually said they've played 28 oddball games in total. They've won 17 and lost 11. So the odds were against them, really. Looking at that, that isn't really that confident going into it.
No, but also to break down those stats, I would have to see what it was towards the end of the time, because I'm very happy to start a new game type and maybe lose my first, 5 out of 7 times, and then towards the end have a higher winning percentage. So I don't have that exact breakdown for Tox in that. The other part I really want to give Tox credit for is some of the score lines they put up during those matches. That Slayer one, we saw like 50-17. We saw the oddball score line, and now it's against a solid squad. Elevate, we kind of had this question mark next to them coming in this tournament. We're like, all right, how strong are they? Are they just going to be good online? Are they going to gel and do well this tournament? And I put them as a top squad this tournament now. They've taken games off Splice. They took a game off Tox. They've been playing solid all tournament long. This is not the downfall of Elevate. I see them making a huge run.
I love it. I love the confidence. I do want to see a huge run from Elevate. I think they can do it. They have shown so much confidence coming into this competition, taking a map off the likes of Splice and just going through the tournament with confidence. Now, gentlemen, let's get on to our next game. So we've got Splice versus Hitmen. Now, Hitmen have surprises. They have been performing well. Clutch, what do you think of them going up against the world champions?
I think this is probably the last team I wanted to see Hitman run into, because I do have a lot of friends on Hitman. I got a lot of history with those players, and I want them to have an opportunity to break into the top 4, to really like take that next step as a team. But it has to be Splice that they match up against. I don't like their odds against Splice at all. I think this is probably the first series where we really watch Splice and we're like, all right, the world champs are here.
Yeah, I mean, we had all these question marks around Splice as well. You know, the new game types, they're not practicing, they're not doing, who knows how they'll perform on these game modes. But, you know, Splice silences the haters every single time, and we realize that they still show up. They're still here to perform. They're still 4 of the most individually talented players that we have here in the league. But the one good thing going for Hitman is, like we pointed out, I'm more confident with them against Splice right now than against Tox, because after what we just saw, yeah, maybe Hitman won a game, but I don't think they're going to take the series, and not many people are going to take the series against Tox. But Splice, they play to their competition. You can catch them off guard. Depending on what the game types are here, they are less practiced. Hitman, they can come up and get a surprise. The talent is there.
I mean, Splice are silent but deadly, of course, and we all do know that. And they do have a particular way they play the game. It's different from what we've seen before, and we had that at Worlds as well. So, Walshy, looking at that, what do teams have to do to try and overcome this different playstyle that we're seeing?
This different playstyle from Splice?
Yes.
Yes. Man, it's really tough. At some point, you just gotta meet fire with fire. We have to start seeing these teams match the caliber of individual skill, because this game is so fast-paced. I've been talking to Mick Wynn at times before, and he says, guess what, Splice, sometimes they don't even heavily outslay other squads. They just make these strong individual pushes. They get over the enemy bases, like enemy base, win that 1v1, pull the flag, get going, or they win that crucial 1v1 to win the stronghold. It's a game that's so fast-paced, and sometimes with sight lines on certain maps, you can isolate those 1v1 fights. So even with a well-oiled team, something like Tox, like they're not going to get their 2v1s every single time. So at some point, you have to meet fire with fire. You have to be able to win your fights and hit your shots. So when I see some of these new rosters that have come out, and the likes of someone like Neptune and stuff, I'm like, I see those players being those new players that can come up and match toe-to-toe with members of Splice. I don't know if every single member here on Hitman can do it, but at the same time, like, they have a chance.
Right. I mean, go 1 year ago, the Renegade and Shotzi, they were those players.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, hey, we now have these 2, young guns, or these, up-and-coming players that just straight up win their 1v1s against players unlike Tox, or, they were formerly Optic. And at some point, you need to build that base around the individual talent from these players. As much as you want to talk about the objective prowess of certain players, how smart they play, how well they play together, end of the day, if you have an amazing shot, you're going to see a lot of success in Halo.
Well, do you know what I want?